here we are. Now we move on to the men's 26-inch elite final. Here we are, some lovely highlights of what's going on at today's event at Valbirse in Switzerland. Incredible weather. I know it's been extremely hot yesterday, much cooler today, much cooler for them. And there was a lovely shot there of Valbirse, the small town in Switzerland, only around 4,000 people in the population there. So now we have the 26-inch riders making their way up to the stage. So 3 British riders and 3 Spanish riders. And we've got here, I'll give you a little list. So in 6th position there was Marty Riera, followed by Julian Sainz in 5th. 4th position was Danny Baron, and 3rd Oliver Waitman, 2nd Jack Carthy, and in 1st Mr. Charlie Rolls. So Oliver's first elite, a year in elite as well. So this is going to be really interesting. And what we have now is probably the best riders in the world on that stage. The last bit of preparation, last minute run-throughs in their head, and here you have the lineup there on the screen. So that's the lineup they'll run in. So the person in 6th will go first, and go from there. Basically, this is how they qualified. So you should be, if you're wanting to. We're also on the UCI live stream as well as the Shindig live stream. If those who are just joining, my name is Matt Pengelly, and I've got my co-host here, Mr. Tom Hutley.
Yeah, hi guys, hello everyone. With what an exciting female elite. That was, well, just the level. It just impresses every single year. You know, this is the start of the World Cup series. This is the first event of 3 World Cups that will be forming our World Series for 2025. As my co-host Matt said, we're in Valbirse, Switzerland. In the 2nd round, we'll be in Poland, and the 3rd round in Cordon, France.
Yeah, and then there'll be plenty of other competitions going throughout the year, many local ones, other C1s, but only 3 World Cups this year, and we're into round number 1. If any of you want to join us on the YouTube Shindig Media, we've got a chat going as well, which is live. You can chat directly with myself and Tom. Let us know what you're seeing. You got any questions? Let's go. And those of you joining us now, hello, what's up? Thank you so much.
Really excited for this finals. It's sounded like it's been an incredible weekend over in Valbirse, Switzerland. So the warm-ups, or I said the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, from what people were saying, was incredibly hot. It was very high in the 30 Celsius. Abu Dhabi-like weather was the comments there. So there was a lot of riders who were fatiguing. There was a lot of riders who, some were feeling quite sick even. So it's a much cooler, more moderate climate in Valbirse today. About 21 degrees Celsius with some good cloud cover. I would say ultimate trials riding conditions.
Yeah, this could be optimal conditions for the riders, which is fantastic. We want to see them perform at their best. And you can see Marty going through section number 1 in his head. He actually had quite a bad injury last weekend in the Spanish Cup there. Decided to eat some wood with a bit of a bad crash, and he hadn't ridden his bike up until yesterday's qualifiers. So shout out to Marty for making it into the finals, and off we go. We're laughing only because the first gate is pretty hard.
Like, we were staring at that gate for some time, thinking it's going to take a bit of time. They know they've got to get through this quick because there's 6 gates. Wow! Straight. Look at this velocity and the speed we're starting on this competition.
Straight in, Marty Rieda there for Spain.
Bouncing his way up, using that as a great obstacle up. Can he get it 3rd time? This is obviously going to eat into some of his energy, bouncing through up there. Crowd getting behind him. Can Marty get up? Yep, with the switch. Now, if you're new to the sport of trials, the way this works is that there are 6 gates in each section. If riders can successfully pass through a gate, they're numbered through 1 through to 6, they will get 10 points. The maximum points our riders can get in any one section is 60 points. That is deemed to be a clean ride. And they just have 2 minutes to do that. But as competition has stepped up over the years, gates can actually be split into sub-gates. So in this particular section, gate 1 is actually separated into A, B, and C. Gate 2 is separated into A, B, and so forth. There's no rhyme or reason to how many sub-gates there could be, but competitors must go through all the sub-gates to get the points for that section. We'll keep you going here, don't worry.
Right, that's a 5 straight for Mize. As you can see, that tape there sectioning off where the riders can actually go. And you imagine it like an invisible wall. So you can see this technique getting up to that front, switching to back.
And you got to remember, he's still injured, right? He hasn't been riding the bike until this competition. So blistering conditions in the semi-finals yesterday, and they're now keeping that going.
Yeah, you see that swap as well. You can just see really nice.
If you're on the chat on Shindig Media, we're just going to post in there the link to the live scoring. There's a toggle at the top of the live scoring that allows you to switch between the men's 26 and the men's 20-inch. We are watching the men's 26. Julian Sainz coming into the section here. Very neatly done there.
A lot of power, Julian, and a lot of style, but unfortunately, no points for power or style. So
we saw him. He had a bit of a trickier qualifying, should we say? He made a few mistakes. It looked like there was almost a bit of fatigue because in the first lap of his qualifying, or in the semi-finals, it was a very high score. Oh, lovely switch there.
Beautiful switch.
And then in the second half of his qualifier, he got a much lower score, so there could have been fatigue setting in there.
And he's making good pace. 1 minute 20 left. And he's got to get through this to get the next set of points. He's got to stay on the beam. There's tape either side. How are they going to do this?
There.
Is he going to gap it? I think he's going to gap it.
Go down the beam a bit, then gap.
Then gap.
Wow.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, as Matt said there, it's really crucial. They cannot go over that tape. That would be the end of their rides. They want to do everything they can to stay within that tape. Not getting caught out on the bark, as we saw Alba Rora get caught out by that in the women's elite just a moment ago.
So 30 points so far. Those trees, you've got half-cut trees as well.
This is a huge gap, so very small point. Whoa, big throw up there. He's gripping, he's slipping. He's in, locked in. Had to really ensure that he was definitely in there.
This is a huge gap.
Look at the size of that.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, Julian is one of the most powerful riders we know, and if he's not making that first time, this is going to show he really needs to push.
Yeah, who's been working on the squats, who's been working on the deadlifts, and just getting the pure power.
He's calling it. 40 points, he's calling it. He did look really tired then as well.
That's a good start, and I think the other competitors we've got to go, so Jack Carpy, Charlie Rolls, Danny Baron, and Oliver Waitman, they're going to be looking at these guys where they've kind of failed or not succeeded, because sometimes these gaps can look very large and intimidating, and once you put the bike there, the gap just goes. So they know each other's abilities. They know if Julian has struggled with that, that is a big gap.
So Danny Baron now, the brother of Vera Baron. Great to see them both in finals. So off we go.
Yeah, Vera Baron came first in the elite women's just a moment ago. Can Danny get himself a podium or even a first as well? That'll be a fantastic journey home for the Baron family.
Yeah. So lovely pace. So I think that should be 10 points now because there was an A, B, and C. And now he's a left footer, so he's going to try and bounce from the floor, I think.
Wow, what a line! What was that?
Did he hook it then? From this angle, I got confused. So he used that beam and actually did a hook.
Wow.
Probably a little bit less effort.
That is on the edge of the ability of what's allowed in that marker.
He's got to stay in it and then up onto that. How's he going to get there? He's got to get into a hook,
he's
isn't
already, yes.
Oh, look
is that
at
going
that.
to be too close, though? Because it's as you go down the beam.
Oh, is it hook? Is he going to swap out? Of course he is, but will he make it? Yes.
You know, it's always so exciting to come back and see the first ride of the season, of the World Cup season, because they've been working so hard over the winter months, and you can see who's been training hard, whose work's paid off, and Danny has already put in a fantastic ride so far. Got such a tiny point there, huge gap. Oh! I don't think he could. He almost landed, but couldn't quite put the weight down enough. And I think if he tried and hop to correct it, he could have slipped off that mushroom.
Yeah,
entirely.
you can see it's the size of this. If you were flat to flat, it's tough enough, but they need to get their front wheel across, don't they?
Oh! That is humongous.
So
look, it's above his head, like plus some.
So none of the Spaniards made it past 40 points. And now we're moving on to the British riders, starting with Oliver Waitman.
Yep, Oliver Waitman qualifying in the third position, which means he goes fourth here. It's the advantage that whoever qualifies higher, so that's Charlie Rolls, who in the qualifying first position, gets to go last. They can see that other competitors go before them, where they make mistakes, where they struggle, and modify accordingly. Looks like Oliver could be... I don't know. He could be getting a rolling up to front here. He could be going for that hook maneuver, bouncing into front.
Yeah, because he's a right footer.
Yeah, it just confused me there because he's obviously starting with the wrong foot.
Don't know why he doesn't want to use the little stump on the ground. Maybe because it's less. I guess it's a big gap, isn't it? So that's now he's going to go for what I thought he would, just to get a little bit of extra step up, so to speak, using that.
Oh, first
there
time.
We go.
First time.
He knows he should have started with that, but next that's fine. Next gate. Move on. So Oliver Waitman now only 19 years of age. He's the youngest in our finals today.
Yeah, he had a really solid ride in the semi-finals, and like many of our competitors, a lot of them just struggled on the time. I think he knew he could get through all of the gates in the semi-finals. They were well within his ability. It's just the time element.
So also getting into that hook motion to gather his balance before swapping to the back wheel and on through. So that will be 30 points, and he's got 33 seconds left. So we've seen, will this be the first? We've got to see.
Yeah, it's divided into sub-gates. This section has 14 gates in total. It's so much work for our riders.
And only 2 minutes. He needs to get his weight forward.
Big gap.
One serious power, Oliver, but it's going to show. None of these have made it first try.
He's going to want to get this.
Get that front through.
I think that's him going to be on time, 30 points there. He's not got the time to go again.
Unlucky for Oliver Waitman there. It's the 30 points. Time was up. You can just see the contrast here and the colours and the beautiful area that they're in.
Yeah, wonderful small little village is Valbirse. Just population of just under 4,000, and you can see the amount of turnout of people coming to see this. That every railing leg is covered with people. This is Mr. Jack Carthy entering section now, wearing the rainbow jersey, world champion of many, many, many times. I daren't say the number because I might get it wrong because it's in.
There's many. He's won it too many times. No, not too many, sorry. Many, many times. He's going to go for that same approach that we saw Marty go with first that Oliver should just start with. Oh,
look at the control.
So casual.
Rear wheel just not quite getting it there.
Might have been too casual, Jack. So he's going up for a second attempt.
Interesting he's not going for the switch. Why would he swing it on? He could switch it.
Just getting through, that's why. To
Just
roll straight out.
Speed of it, incredible.
Jack's known for getting himself thinking about the next gate before he's gone through the first gate.
Yeah, the most confident and consistent rider.
Yeah.
If anyone can pull it out the bag and perform under pressure, it's this man.
So
this man really is the GOAT of trials.
And often never taking the easy way through a gate. Always going for what we believe the hardest way, just to prove why he's one of the best here today. So will Jack get this first time? Swapping from that Christmas tree. And we've got, just to see his gap here. Come on. He has. First try as well.
40 points, so yeah, he's currently tied with Julian with just under 30 seconds left.
Another big gap. We saw
nearly
Julian
in the drink.
Oh, what a recovery.
Wow, well held.
Oh, he's
First
only gone
time.
and done it. First time. 50 points for Jack Carthy. He's got just over 10 seconds left to go.
Oh, the switch there. That's him out of it.
I just got to call out, really well done, Jack. I've got to call out Ronnie's joke there. It's actually great. That gap is humongous. That's actually brilliant. I won't take any credit for that. Ronnie, great pun. Great pun. That's a strong contender there. Any good puns, let us know, guys. But
Look at
you
that.
see that up there, just rolling the back wheel through.
Again, speed of it. Like, I think he wasn't quite up the top, but if you just carry the speed and momentum, that's enough to get you through the gate. Okay, so there's your man, Charlie Rolls. He was the overall World Cup winner of 2024. So arguably, of the last season, the most consistent rider. Wasn't enough to win the World Championship, unfortunately. But let's see. Not quite as fast through everyone else. There we go. Switch him through. Rolls by name, rolls by nature.
I think he needs that on a t-shirt, doesn't he? Right, lovely hook.
Wow,
Taking the
the
same
speed.
approach as Danny Moron. The hook, that's going to favour the lefties, of course. Again, he's got to keep that balance. You see, he's probably going to get onto the back wheel, as we've seen some of the riders do, going down on the back wheel. You think it was harder, but that's one less wheel to worry about with the precision. Front, back. There we go.
Yeah, that's the speed option. The trouble is with the hook, you've got to hang it, you've got to wait, you've got to poise and go.
Yeah, it does take up a lot more time, doesn't it? So 30 points for Charlie Rolls, and he's really going to want to get all the way through this one.
Yeah, we see Ollie struggle with this one, and Charlie, he's always been a little bit less powerful than some of the other riders. He's always had to make up for it in technique, so I wonder if he can get this gap. Oh, just not enough. Again, he's going to have to really put all in this to make sure that grips and that sticks.
Yeah.
Charlie is very much a crowd favourite.
Yeah, they do seem. And he just really enjoys this. Oh, it's taking its toll.
Yeah.
It's taking its toll.
This is his worst nemesis. He's always just been, as I said, a little bit underpowered compared to some of the other riders. Even growing up and being on the 20-inch, he's always had to get technique to get him through here. Come on.
Oh, no. He's only got
10 seconds.
10
is he going to give it
seconds
another go?
left.
But that might eat into it. There's no other way that you can do this.
There really isn't. It's just going to, unless he wants to Frenchy it, but the time's up.
He's not going to be happy with that.
So Charlie, only 30 points there. Matching the rest, apart from Marty there, getting 20. But you can see this hook. Very clever, making the most of every inch of the
I'm
edge
surprised
of
he
that
didn't
gate.
English breakfast there. That must be so...
I reckon it takes up more energy.
Yeah, but it's just so automatic to him, I think. You know, just to throw his weight over the front, and then you're on the front wheel. And
lovely control on the back wheel, jump into front, switch into back.
yeah, that control on the rear wheel and the modulation with the Magura, all of our 26-inch riders are running rim brakes, and it can be quite difficult to have that same level of control that you would normally have with a disc brake.
On to section number 2 with the gondola, and these. This is like we're up in the mountains. They're basically these rocks were tested by mountain goats, I'm sure.
I'm calling this Gonzalez gondola after
Gonzalez.
the organizer, Vito.
Yeah, Vito just missed. Can I just shout out to Vito, who just missed these finals, and he's in his home country, so...
yeah, we had a Swiss rider who's actually qualified
in the 20s, but we'll be on to him a bit later on.
A lot of support from the crowd.
Marty now has gone through 1A. Now this will be 1B. You can just see, using every part of that rock as they can. So technical, this, even though it might just look like a rock placed down.
No,
they've given him a 5.
He didn't even get through
that
the
is
first
0
gate.
points for Marty. That injury might be taking its toll on him right now. As you say, he's not ridden all. We're back now. We just may have just a little technical glitch there, maybe, or some signal. So we're back. Julian Sainz now going to. Oh, hang on. So it's slightly different approach than Marty. I wonder why that is. But look, getting in that static hook motion. It's a lovely new paint job there for Julian. Usually on an orange and black bike, he's gone for the white today. So he's taken a dab. No, sorry, he hasn't taken a dab, so he's got the 10 points for that one. Now up on... Just seeing here, so now at the top, that's 3. Yeah, Peter, we should be back now. So he's got to go up onto that neck. Look how narrow that gate is. Just about get your bike through.
He's stuck it though, he's in.
Yes.
Can he get himself out of that?
He's into that hooking selection, and he's got to turn around.
Very well held. No. Oh. Is that where he wanted to go? Can he recover it any other way?
They know the routes better than we're just trying to grasp. Now he's making his way up onto the rock, onto the top of the gondolier. Look at that. Look at just... What a cool feature to have. Is there someone inside there?
I think so.
Yeah. Someone slept over there from last night, I think.
So we're on to 30 points for Julian Sainz. Wow.
Yeah, he's only got 10 seconds left. Can he get through? You can see this incredibly narrow part, narrow gates.
Yeah, they reversed that. That was within the semi-final, so I believe that's been reversed there.
So I think he only got 30 because he didn't get all of the Bs here. All right, now moving on to the next rider, Danny Baron. So this is our third Spanish. We can see it's Spain v the UK. So
yeah, there's not been enough of a spread yet. I mean, other than Jack Carthy taking a bit of a lead there, but a lot of our riders starting around on the 30, 40 point mark. So we can see how this competition is going to shape up.
Getting into that hooking, he's going to go 90 degrees there. Look, just like creeping up, like climbing on a bike. So those of you, thanks, who are just joining us in the chat, let us know you're there. Give us a shout. Now that gate is actually really narrow, and he just made it look so wide the way he was so quick at getting his bike through.
So much on that left-hand side of that flag, knowing exactly where the Sharpie marker is.
Really agile
on the flag. Remember, they've got to get both axles through those gates and also the centre line of the bike. If you imagine those gates as being Is he gripped?
Yeah, just about getting his front wheel there.
Look, you can see what I mean by the rear wheel. Look, right on that flag. So you can touch the flag, but there is a pen line.
Yes.
Yeah, up onto the gondola there. Yeah, there is a pen line on the yellow flag you see there. And so long as they're inside of the penned line, that's what matters.
I wonder if they're going to reuse that gondola.
Very nicely hooked up there. That hook is huge.
Now, this was the backwards from the semis. You can just see they've got to stay within that tape. No axles can go over it.
Yeah, ideally you don't want to jump back from there. It's a huge gap, but if you fall in that gap, then it's going to be a bit tricky to get out of it. A pit of peril. Oh, that is a huge one. He just takes the failure there, I'm afraid, as well. 50 points for Danny Baron, which was the same as what Julian got in this section. So that puts Julian at 90 points total, Danny Baron on 80, and Marty's already been in this section, and sadly, he didn't get any points, so on 20 there, he's going to be gutted with that. Still to go in the section are the 3 British riders. We're now looking at Oliver Waitman. He was previously a junior world champion, 2023, Glasgow, Scotland, on his 20-inch. Then for the year of 2024, he decided to give big wheels a go, and he is absolutely dominating it. It's getting better and better every year, and he just seems to sort of just be refining his strategy and his technique a bit more, going from loose cannon teenage energy to more refined adult man energy.
Yes, despite being one of the youngest riders here today, probably one of the most powerful. So great start from Oliver right now. 20 points with 1 minute 20 left to go. Looking really composed as his brother, shout out to brother Eddie Waitman, his first World Cup this year as well, and did incredibly well.
Yeah, they're going to be a formidable family in the trial scene, you know.
Yes, watch out for the Waitman family.
It does seem that some of the best riders came in family units.
And not these, a couple of these riders, including Jack and Oliver, this is first, like, one of the first rides on the new Krukers bike.
Right,
It's just come out, or they've just been given it, so they've not really had much time to get used to it. It's just get on and ride. So great ride from Oliver so far. Dropping through that gondola, that's another 10 points there. So 30 points total for Waitman so far.
Here we go.
What a pace. He's got really good pace now.
It's a really good size gap.
It's just nothing. That just looked like nothing.
Yeah, if you could see that, I mean, if you get some perspective on that, it is just a huge gap. And at a point in the section where they're already quite fatigued, he's on 50 points. Has he got the time to get the full 60? The crowd are amping up the volume here. He's doing well to keep with the other race leaders, but that is just going to be the 50 points. There's Carl Waitman there.
Yes, his dad. Big shout out to Carl. Does a lot for the UK scene as well. So, final scores.
Yeah, so here's some of the highlights there, just holding that grip. That seems to be quite a grippy rock. I mean, it probably isn't if you asked any of the riders, but the way they're getting there and sticking just seems to work so well. But the ability to be able to get up and actually hold it, to turn and get onto the gondola, it's a big ask. So you can see why there's so many different lines in this competition.
But we've all got all the same points so far. All the riders have got 50 in section number 2.
Yeah, just Julian is just creating a small margin of a lead here. Can Carthy keep his margin? Let's go. He got 50 points in the first section.
Always pretty clever there. Jack's very quick to get in sections. He just wants to get started. I know a couple of times I've had to say, well, we haven't started. But Jack likes to get his pace on, get the pipe moving. He knows time is everything.
Sometimes he just doesn't look like he ever comes out of any gears. You know, he's got a load of gears in his wheelhouse and he never has to push beyond.
Now, again, look at the rock in front of him. He's got to get up and on the back wheel and turn from that. It's just out of this world.
It'd be interesting to see if he does. I think he's definitely got the control to do it once he's up on rear wheel.
Yeah, also on the new Kruker's bike as well.
That's his position of comfort, just on the rear wheel like that, straight through. I wouldn't expect any less. He is, of our riders, easily the most consistent and reliable, especially under pressure. We've seen that over the years.
Yeah, very strong ambassador for
the sport.
sport.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Nice big hook here. He's got a bit of time, judging based upon where his competitors got so far in this section. These are quite long sections, and I think we've seen that within the women's. We've seen it so far with these first two sections here. It really does push the level. I think Jack is very much someone who loves a competition where it's not all about being clean and consistent all the way through.
Here we go. So that's 40 points. He's got 12 seconds to get through to one more gate. Is he going to get through? I think he is.
Has he got the time?
They're about
front wheel out.
What they call
No,
it? 50. Didn't get the 60. He was just out of time. So he got 50 as well.
Well, he's still in the lead there. That puts him up onto 100 points. So he's got a 10-point margin over Julian Sainz. I think he would have liked to have a bit more, but it doesn't really matter to Jack. He can cope very well under pressure.
First one we've seen to get out the end.
Yeah, just a
but
shame.
Just didn't get enough time.
Yeah,
so.
competitors only have 2 minutes to get through the entire section, and as long as their front wheel or their front axle gets out of that section, that's the defining time, but he just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, it's all good going through the gate. To get the final 10 points, they have to go through the finish line.
Now, the final Brit of our trio of British riders coming through here, he's going to have to get a clean here if he really wants to come back against what happened in the first section. He only got 30 points in the first section because he couldn't make that large gap there.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself.
I don't think there's anything too large in this section for him. There's a lot of technical ways of interpreting this section, which I think is going to be good for Charlie.
10 points so far. So on to the second gate. Look at that hanging hook too. Didn't quite get it first time round. So
it's going to take a bit of time there. So we saw it was tight on time for Jack. So
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be very ambitious for Charlie to get the full 60 points now. He's got to really motor on if he wants to get this.
There we go. There's another 10 points. So now, moving on to the third gate. Just over a minute gone. Got to hold it there in that position.
Oh, he didn't quite make it.
No, this is...
I wonder why. I mean, all of other riders have managed to kind of get there and stick to it, so...
I know. You can just see a bit of wind really coming in there on his shirt and the flags. That will affect some of the riders, especially on a carbon bike. You know, extremely lightweight, but that does mean he's basically riding a kite with wheels.
If you join us on the UCI and you think, you know what, I've never seen this sport before, what is going on here? This is the sport of bike trials. We're watching Charlie Rolls. No, not quite make his way up there.
Stem moved. Look, Stem's moved.
Oh, wow. That just shows you the pressure that our riders put on these bikes. Yeah, so this is the sport of bike trials. It's a modified bicycle. Some of our competitors use aluminium frames. We see Charlie Rolls there with a full carbon bike. And the aim of this sport is they've got to get from the start gate across all of these sections and out the finish within 2 minutes without putting a foot down. The only part of the bike that can contact any part of the section or an obstacle is the tyres. If a frame goes down, if a pedal goes down, that is deemed as a penalty point, and they cannot get the points for the gate that they are attempting.
And often, as riders, we call those penalty points dabs. Penalty has such a negative connotation to it, so call it a bit of a dab.
We're in section now with Marty Vereda. If you didn't catch us at the beginning on the pre-opening here, Marty actually had quite a serious injury just last week in the Spanish Cup, and he hasn't ridden his bike all week. The first time he rode it was to qualify in the semi-finals yesterday.
I asked him why. He just was like, well, I wanted to save all the energy and all that to be good to make the final. So shout out to Marty. Here he is. He's made them. So now going through 20 points for Marty and 120 left to go. First rider through into section number 3, which is kind of like the woodwork section, all logs and beams. And it's... Ooh! So what we might not be seeing in some of that, the run up there looks very awkward. Look at the stones. Look at the little lip he's got there. So he didn't put both feet down, just his 1 foot down twice. That's what we're seeing, the red dots. Wow, they've got to go at such an angle because of the way it is. So he's taking it from the other side now. The gate's right at the top. So you can see they don't want to land on this lower bit.
There you go, he's in now.
Is.
That's the most reassuring and confidence thing. As soon as the front wheel gets over that lip, you know you're there. You can get the hook, the traction from the front wheel there. Process Lego block from the side because of the position of the gates here.
Yeah, and you can see he's having to get look. The gates. Well, the gate's probably about the width of his back wheel.
Yeah. So again, if you're tuning in for the first time, if you're watching on the UCI, you've never seen this sport before. These gates are all numbered 1 through till 6. This is going to be the huge side up here, bouncing his way in.
He's
on
taking
the
it.
there.
You can see, and there's tape just on the floor. Now, what happens if they go over that tape? It's what we call a 5. They won't. They'll be out. They would have used all 5 penalty points.
Yeah, imagine the tape like a physical wall or a physical barrier. You are not allowed to cross over that tape.
You just see the crowds gathering there as well, getting around, everyone trying to get the best view of the section.
Yeah, it looks like the rain has stopped as well. We had a few splashes of rain during the women's elite earlier on. Temperatures are looking about a nice cool 21 degrees Celsius and some nice cloud cover. I would say this is perfect riding conditions, albeit slight bit of wind there in Valbirse.
And the takeoff from that as well.
Wow.
Not just the hook. Balance beam takeoff.
There is just so much going on there. So to get that hook, to switch immediately, hold it on the rear wheel, turn and come down a very skinny balance beam. You can see those yellow markers which indicate the area that the riders must ride through. They've got to ride through those like goalposts. And you can see that on some of the sections, they are so narrow. There's no room for error here.
Yeah, the width of a tyre, that's all they can get through. So, he's just going to have to come back again.
Even Julian finding it a bit of a push. Yeah. Julian Sainz, we sometimes call him Insanes because he's just a madman when it comes to some of the big moves.
Yeah, he's just Insanes. Bouncing through, so he's using that first one to get the back wheel, switching the back wheel up, straight through the gate.
A bit quicker on time than what Marty took, and I think some of the other riders are going to be taking notes at how long it took for these guys to get through those gates.
You can just see the gate at the top of that, just in front of him there, that small. They've only got that one knobble to hook their front wheel over. It's pretty much probably the only way to get up there. Hooking that front wheel, you can see gripping it. They've got their back brake off just to get that balance, and then they're going to bounce up using that. Lovely technique. So getting the back wheel through and actually hopping onto the lower little
which requires just a little bit less power because
Yeah.
you're not going all the way to the top. You can sort of divert your energy to the side.
Now he's right foot forward, so he's coming from the other side that we saw. Big side up.
Oh no!
He's a bit of a log splitter there.
It is a huge side hop.
Not only that, you've got to stay on that balance beam as well. I wonder who we'll see get through this side up.
I think if the side up was a bit smaller, I think many of the riders would be able to have a couple of goes at it. You could get on there, maybe not quite get your balance in place. Because of the sheer size of it, you have to tuck the bike up into you, and it's probably one of the most uncompromised positions to be in because, as we just saw there with Julian and Marty, the rear wheel slips and you've got nowhere to go. You haven't got enough time to recompose your body and get up and go again.
Yeah, there's not really room to dab on there either, to take a tactical penalty and put your foot up because of the balance beam. You can just see from the top angle here how skinny that beam is with them taking off. Danny up to two wheels, switching to back. He's through A, taking a slightly different approach. Down and through. And now up onto this beam. Lovely hook there. All right, on to gate number 3. So it's 20 points with 1 minute 20 left to go. He's taking his time here, Danny. That rock, all those loose rocks on the ground are going to really play a part, and probably
good timing to get through this. So
yeah,
quick,
and they're both 26 is running both front and rear rim brakes. So any dust that gets on those rims, it's going to affect the performance of their brakes.
Yeah, you might hear a bit of a squeaking going on with their brakes, and that's all intentional. The analogy I like to use is that the brakes grip so well, it's almost like when you have a trainer or a sneaker squeaking its way on gym school flooring, like on a basketball court. That's the level of grip they've got.
Look at this side on. It's bar on back wheel. He's going to dab. Yeah. Jumping to his... A bit of parkour going on there as well. That's a real tactical dab.
Well, that as well, you've got to be careful not to throw too much weight up there that you fall off the other side of the beam.
As we saw Julian did.
He knows he's got to get the points here to separate himself from Julian, from the other riders. You'll see as well there's also pink flags. So if you've only just tuned in for this, you're thinking, well, what's the need in the pink flags? Well, they had those up for the women's elite that took place earlier today. Oh, Danny Baron just slipping out there.
Oh, that's going to be the end of his run for section number 3.
Yeah, so the pink flags, they're not allowed to go through those. So they keep those up as a way of limiting the direction a rider could take. Great technique up on that log. He kind of gets on it and gives it another little additional kick just to get over that lump, that kind of inverse that's on there.
So next up, we'll have our first British rider of the last 3 in section 3, Oliver Waitman on the new Karukers aluminium trials bike there. Again, the youngest rider in today's finals. Let's see how Oliver's going to do. Starting on that balance, on that small beam there. They have chopped to the very top of it, so it is flat. Just a little bit, make it a little bit easier, but still not making it guaranteed.
So turn his way left. A little bit slower than some of the approaches we saw before him. But no doubt, just wanted to get himself through it.
Yeah.
Best points so far on this section was Danny Baron with 40 points. These are quite long sections. We saw this in the women's elite as well. No one's getting any clean so far. I wonder who the first rider is going to be to get the full 60 points in any of the sections.
Yeah, big shout out to the course builders here. They're really testing the abilities of today's riders.
Yeah, and this is all based around the Velo Trial Moron Trial Club. So Vito Gonzalez, who's the organizer of this event, is the president of that trials club, and just really promoting trials in this region of Switzerland. It's great to be able to put these events on all around the world in quiet little villages like this, in the middle of busy city centres. Can Oliver get the side hop?
Look at the size of it.
Even he holds it to pedal. That's not a bad place to be.
Oh, Andrew Chai would be very happy with that one. Chai's a rider in the UK who's...
Yeah, you don't see these riders go to pedal a lot because the competition format, this is UCI rules. And under UCI rules, only the tyres may come in contact with an obstacle.
Yeah.
They can use a pedal as a strategy, as Oliver did. But his points are very good so far. Can he get 50 here?
So far, so good. The time is just finished there. So did he? Don't know if he got the full. He did. 50 points for Oliver now. 50 points for Oliver on section number 3. So highest scoring in. Did he get the 50? Yeah, he did. So highest scoring points with.
Yeah, so that puts him in the current lead. But of course, we still have Jack and Charlie to go.
So Jack Carthy now for the UK. He's in. He's going to want to do this nice and quick. He already knows like flick, flick, flick as straight flew. Front wheel, back wheel.
But he's missed the gate there. He has to go back round and come a different way.
Yeah. So
interesting he's gone round like that. I don't...
So he had to roll through that one because that was a B gate.
And that gets in the, well, sorry, it's C.
And that's the C gate.
Gotcha, yep.
Yeah, there we go. 10 points.
Yeah, so they divide up some of these gates. So you have to go through all of those, 1A, B, and C to get 10 points. Beautifully
done. Right, I wonder how Jack's going to attack this concrete Lego block. We've seen most of them hooking, going in. Danny went to 2. Is he going to go straight to back wheel? 2 wheels, flicking through. Beautifully done. Nice conservative approach.
It just always looks just so in control and command of the bike. You can sometimes see when riders get to the edge of their abilities or when something's a little bit off camber for them, because you can just see it in how they compose themselves in their body. So it's going to be very interesting to see how composed Jack's going to be here.
Will he get the full side up?
Wow.
He has. Beautifully done, Jack Carthy.
And to hold it as well. It's
Yeah.
one thing to get the side hop, but to actually hold. He's a clean ride so far. This could be the best score. Could it be a clean through the section? He's got just 20 seconds left to get out. 50 points so far.
He needs to get through sections.
This was a really weird gap, that one. They're coming off of a gravel kind of camber. That's the clean.
60 points from
The
Jack
first
Carthy.
rider of this finals. We didn't see any of the females get a 60 clean points. That's another clean for Jack's roster of many, many cleans. I even saw him bite the bottom lip as he went up for that side hop. That was big. This is a weird gap because you're having to come off a sloping camber. You're taken off of gravel. That's about the only way you can do that move. Wow. A masterclass there.
Charlie rolls now. The qualifying first, but hasn't really pulled through for the points to be in the lead just yet. He's actually currently on 50, but he's still got this next section to go. So
yeah, he's had a bit of bad luck in this section here.
Beautiful little hook to front wheel to back wheel, rolling through, dropping down. I'm surprised some riders haven't got caught up with that either, because it's such a narrow gate.
Nice.
Oh, well held. Now 20 points so far for Charlie with 1 minute 25 seconds left to go. First try through that. Now onto the concrete Lego block. So that was A. This is going to be B.
I think this is going to be him. I think he loves these little technical
his
holes.
Weight's going quite far to the left right now. He's corrected himself.
Nice.
Just skipping over the blocks there. Hucked straight over that one.
Yeah. Once we get Charlie through this section, we'll give you an update of the points and our kind of summary of where that might lead to. How is Charlie going to do this side up? He's going for the side up. He's not bouncing in like we saw Marty
I think he's going to do a little small bounce to get in, trying to avoid that tape.
I see, yeah, small bounce. On the chainstay.
Using a tactical dab there to get through.
Yeah, so he won't get the points for that gate, but that allows him to get through. And you can see that's what that little red icon is on the screen. He can get through and try and make up the points elsewhere. Camera operator is struggling to keep up with the speed this boy goes. Again, look at the camber takeoff there. There you go.
Into that hooking position. He's got to get his body weight right up and over. Through to the gate.
To 2, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
Down.
Beautifully done.
I think he might be on for 50 points. Goes out the gate backwards.
Just adding a bit of flair. 50 points for Charlie Rolls. So he has made an improvement from his previous runs.
But I don't know if that's going to be enough to kind of get him up into the top spot.
I know, so
this is some highlights here. Currently, Jack Carthy in first place with 160 points. Oliver Waitman, second place, 130 points. Danny Barron, 120 points. Charlie's score is just being updated, but I think that's going to put him on 100. So that means Julian Sainz in fourth with 120 points. Charlie Rolls in fifth with 100 points. And Marty Vereda in the sixth position with 40 points.
So moving on to section number 4. Starting off with our sixth qualifier, Marty Vereda. Here we go. Marty's off. So similar to the women's, up the slide. You can see the slight advantage of a bigger bike. They've just gapped to the middle of it.
This
and
is
then
one of the
switched.
most intense sections in that I worked this out. There's 17 sub-gates.
Wow.
Yeah. So
17 gates in total.
there's 6 gates because
But-
you have gates 1 through till 6, but
Yeah.
because there's a lot of separation, 1A, B, it's 1A, B.
Look at that. So you might not see on the top. There's just like a beam of timber going across that bit of concrete. That's how he's able to fit his wheel.
Yeah, in the middle. So at the frontmost part of his wheel, what's actually holding him back is a very slim bit of wood there.
Yeah, it's across exactly where the gate is. So if you see where the yellow gate is, there's just a bit of wood going across
That's
that.
such a deceptive design move. I wonder if Mr. Gonzalez put that there. Because if that was just a straight hook, they would pull off of the concrete and go up, but they can't actually roll forwards because the piece of wood is prohibiting them from doing that. What's Marty going to do here? Oh, he's going to gap it from over there, back into the hook position again.
He's
This
having a
could
look.
be a stopper.
This is going to get very interesting because if they're going to get in the hook position that Marty was in earlier, like you say, that beam is stopping their front wheel from pushing up. And
Correct, unless maybe they can get some sort of angle on it, which I think he might be trying here.
Over. Yeah, here we go.
You might have to
see.
go through the flags at a different angle.
Very tough. He's going to get both wheels up. So tricky there. So he's not got any points just yet because he's had to dab through the first gate. So it does mean he can carry on. 2 dabs. Now you look, if you just see in front of him, that is the width of his tyre. That is the gate, that really small yellow gate.
And he can't hop off to the right because
That's it, the tape. So there's no room for error.
And no points
And
on that
no
section.
points for Marty. I mean, real big respect for making it to the finals. He didn't expect himself to.
I really want to see some riders get through this because there's some really creative elements in this section. We saw it in the women's. They've actually got boulder holds, like climbing holds in this section. So they get to... it's really creative how it works. I can't wait to hopefully see some riders
Just
get through
noticing
this.
Julian with the lovely Swedish flag colours on his bike. Yeah, with the red, the white cross in the red there. It's the Switzerland, not Swedish, sorry, the Switzerland flag.
Ah, I see.
That's what I'm confusing. Ah, yes. Right, 1 minute 45 left for Julian and needs to get up and through this gate. That if he gets through,
This is a 1A, B and C gate.
so you can
I
see.
think that's the C on top there. That's
Yeah.
1C. So if he gets through this, he'll get 10 points. So much... Ah!
Oh, he's got his front wheel on the wood now.
Yeah, so that's what's holding him there. There's
Yeah.
a
Look how
small-
close he is to damaging his frame as well. Oh, look at that. Is that rear axle's not through yet, though? Doesn't get the points. Now it's through.
Now he's got the points.
10 points.
All that for
Incredibly.
10 points. Right. It's got to be a 2A and 2B, but this is heavily taped. Can't fall to the left. I don't think they can fall to the right. They
No.
can't use that rock because it's got tape around it. Very nicely
Wow.
done. I believe that was just the... no, that's the A and the B. This one is 3A, B, C,
So-
and D.
Some climbing elements here.
They can't go to the sides. They can't go up or down. They must go across the climbing wall.
His
Look at
front
this.
wheel's not using all the bit of that gate possible. He's
This
got to
is
get
a-
to that blue just there and then gapping. Ay, 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 ay.
That,
They can't go on the ground because you can see the tape at the bottom of that part of the section.
look at it. Look, you can see the gates on that wall. That's an Andre Burton section. He's going to be very chuffed with this.
Oh, flying in through that, just flicking through. Beautifully done. 15 seconds to go. Look, front wheel on that climbing obstacle edition.
It's a boulder hold. It's
A
incredible.
boulder hold. I couldn't even think what the word was.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's the correct one.
Yeah, no. Yeah, someone in the comments if you know the official term for that, but it's part of a bouldering section, isn't
It's
it?
one of the most creative section designs I've seen
Yeah.
across some of the World Cup series.
Yeah, you're right, Ryan. It is. It's a great design here. Section 4 being one of the most interesting, the most challenging, the most intricate section.
But unfortunately for our riders, far too many gates here. 17 gates when you split it up into the sub-gates. If you work that out across the 2 minutes they have, that's 7 seconds per gate.
That's some good that's quick math, Tom.
7 seconds.
Very quick math.
I worked it out earlier, but yeah, sorry.
And Danny Baron now, the third rider to go through the last of the Spanish.
Yep, so that gets him through gate B there.
Oh!
Remember, this is gate 1,
So
A, B, and C. So he has to get over that pipe up the top there to get the C.
You can see he's starting from...
He's taking a bit more of an angle.
It's so hard to see. You see his front wheel disappearing slightly because there is a little hole.
Yes. That's what you have to
Skipping that
do.
wood entirely.
Yeah, to the right of it, it's just like a bit of 2x4 that's been cut down to fit perfectly in that hole there.
Yeah, so he's gone for the hook there because he'd obviously dropped down.
That gate was in the women's one. It's absolutely insane.
Another thin gate. These are crazy narrow.
This can kill a ride very easily. You can't hop to the right, can't hop to the left. There's only one way through, and that's forward.
I think he got through. He did. He did. So that's another 10 points for Danny. 20 points in total.
Right, this has got to get gate 3, A, B, C, and D. You only get one go because of the tape. If you fall out the bottom, your ride is over.
Yeah, they can't drop. They've got to stay on the climbing holds here. So down to the black. Oh, I think he went out the tape.
That tape there. We just had the feed cut there, but
it's just a small
glitch in the feed. I'm sure there's going to be a replay.
Yeah,
there.
that was a 5, unfortunately, there for Danny Baron.
This
so,
could really reshape the scoreboard, I think, because of how technical that part of the section is.
Yeah, maybe give a chance for some of the riders that failed earlier on to catch back up, or other riders that might actually fail who were already ahead.
Yeah.
So no guesses as to any winners yet. This is all to play for. So Oliver Waitman now for the UK, United Kingdom, Great Britain.
Yeah, Oliver Waitman's currently on 130 points. Julian Sainz and Danny Baron were at 140 at the end of this section. So if he gets this gate, he will be tied with those two.
Just flick to the wood there, I think. The front wheel's hooked on the wooden beam.
Yep.
Getting 2 wheels up.
The same line that Julian took, just getting forward on that
beam. He's going to gap down to skip out on that scar.
Yeah,
beautifully done.
Right. Now, if he gets this gate, he will be ahead of Danny Baron and Julian Sainz. Great ride for Ollie so far.
Yeah, looking pretty composed. He's always very laid back, Oliver.
Very short run up there. Yes!
Yeah, always letting his riding do the talking, that man.
That puts him on 150 points.
So 55 seconds to go.
How will he attack a climbing wall?
On to the climbing holds here.
Yeah, so that's going to be 3, A, B, C, and I think D is afterwards. No.
He can't.
Oh, no, he...
Wait.
Yeah, I think they said he went out of the...
His front wheel went over the tape.
Front wheel went over the tape there.
There you go. It's just caught out, you can see. But this was a fantastic move from Oliver, actually switching the front wheel. First starts off one side of the beam, then to the other, getting up 2 wheels and then composing himself to do the gap down to the beam and through to the next gate. So next up will be Jack Carthy.
Yeah, Jack Carthy, our current race leader, he is on 160 points, which is already 10 points ahead of Oliver Waitman, so he's already got a great lead here.
You see how tight it is with all the spectators there, so close to the section, so very, very small area. So through A, now he's got to get up to B is just at the end of that block, and then C is at the top. So it's 1A, 1B, so need to get up to the top of here to get the points.
Yeah, best score in this section so far is 20 points, so it'll be interesting to see if Jack can get any further. Very neatly done, yep. He's going to take the gap through.
There's the 10 points for Jack Carthy.
Same gap that Ollie did, yeah. Now, this, I mean, is precise. We saw Jack do a similar move to this to win the World Championships in Glasgow in 2023. Very short run up, very narrow, so got to keep it rolling through. Oh, he takes 2 goes at it, but that's okay. He didn't pass over the tape. the level of control to be able to come back and not go back over the tape. There you go, he's up there.
A lot of recovery involved here.
So 20 points, that gives him a very good, more of a lead now. That might be shaping up who is going to be on the podium, specifically the first place.
Jack.
I think he's out there.
Oh, it's so unfortunate. You can see they only had, probably about 15 centimetres of an area for the back wheel to land. Jack went for it. I'm going to give a serious respect points for Jack to just go for it. He wasn't conservative. Always usually going for the harder moves. Jack is out of choice. And you've got a lot of respect.
Was there a way of you can't power through it? You have to drop down to that lower one, don't you? To then because of where the flag is. It's like interesting design. They've literally
forcing the riders to do the same thing.
Well, it's not putting a gate flat. Like the gate's almost on the side. It's almost like asking you to do a wall ride or something in a section. Charlie Rolls flying his way up the slide there with some magic tape there.
Yep, there's no special things on there to help them get up with any power, no engines. The body is the engine.
So no one has got more than 20 points in this section. Can Charlie Rolls get more than 20 points? And
he's going to want to make up for some of these mistakes he's made. So, all right, here he is.
Come on, Valbirse. We're all shouting for Charlie Rolls.
Yeah.
You can hear the crowd in the background there.
Other than the local talent, he seems to be a crowd favourite today. And here we go. How's he going to approach this? A side up, a roll up? Is he going to roll? Is he going to bounce?
It's just so tight in there.
Yeah.
And you're coming away from these wood chippings. Look, he's skidded
spectators
there.
are right there as well.
Incredible. They can literally touch him.
Oh, a little wheel spin.
Yeah.
That would have affected his ride. Look how tight it is.
He's got it.
Brakeless. He knew he had to get the wheels up and through
20
there.
points. Now, this is technical. If anyone can do technical, it's this man. Oh, look, he's balancing on the wall. Look at that.
He's actually using them. What?
Oh!
Yes! Wow. That looked a bit messy, but he got through it.
Wow. Incredible. Can he just claim
25 seconds left to go, so scored the most so far. He's going to want to get as many as he can. Oh,
that's a 4A,
15 seconds left to go. He needs to get up this.
I think that's the 4AB.
Yeah, so that should be 40 points.
Let's
see if they're going to update us.
It's a huge gap he's got to do after. It's
He's out of time.
Yeah.
Little Frenchie, though, even out of time. Great ride from Charlie.
Wow, that's very good that he's got that. That puts him on 140 points now. So there's actually a joint third place going on, which is with Charlie Rolls, Danny Barron and Julian Sainz.
You see, using all. Look, he's used. He went on every hold of the thing. So both wheels, back wheel on the front wheel on that one, drops to the larger unit, then gaps to the middle bit, and literally used every obstacle that he could.
It's incredible.
Just getting through. Look at that little.
That's just redefining what trials is and what can be done in a competition.
It's getting
what
close
an incredible use of organising here. So giving you an update on the scores, Jack Carthy is in first place with 180 points. Oliver Waitman second, 150 points. Charlie Rolls 140 points, as is Danny Barron and Julian Sainz. Charlie Rolls, Danny Barron and Julian Sainz are all three of those are tied on 140 points with exactly the same point structure. There's no one who's got more 50s, 40s. So this section is going to decide who is going to come in that third position, even possibly the second position.
Yeah,
so
some riders have done better in other sections than others.
Jack Carthy's got a good 30-point lead, so he's got a very good chance of getting the first position, but all to play for here. This is the final section, folks.
Oh, just landing in two wheels there. I thought he was going to go to front. 10 points for Marty. So Marty's going to show us. Again, there can be a slight disadvantage going first because you don't really get to see what mistakes other riders might make.
Yeah, and out of all of the sections, this is the one section that has the least amount of sub-gates. In total, there's 11 gates in this section.
But very awkward, some of these gates from when we saw the little walkthrough. You can see, so there
There's
isn't
nothing
much
to
there.
grip on there, is there? Yeah, so
You kind of have to get there and go right away. He's using all of the courses he can. Oh, now that might have been a repeat of what happened on the weekend. That's what he did in the Spanish Cup there. So we don't want that again. Come on, Marty, get there. It's going to have to be there and go. I don't think there's anything for them to hook their front wheel at the top. No, judging from this view, there isn't. So he's going to want to get in that hook and go right away. He needs to use the momentum to get up the letter.
even putting the dab in, it's so difficult.
Yeah. And he's going to be fatigued now, you know. It's the last section. Very tiring.
I like how on this gate there is like a little marker that's on the V. It's in the middle of the V, as though someone's going to gap to that sheer like slope bit there. It's a bit silly.
Yeah,
but
no.
Here we go. He's got the dab in.
I wonder if that's what we're going to see.
He's only got 10 seconds though to try and get more points. I mean, he knows he can't win this. This is the last section. Unfortunately, he's in the 6th position. He loves the sport, Marty. He does a lot. He does a lot to promote the sport. He's had a great ride, though. He's always smiling. Crowd goes wild. I know he's giving it everything he's got.
Very, very happy rider. Always someone you want to have around, really. So great ride from Martin. Congratulations on making the final, despite the injury you had at the weekend. So I think he'll be proud to be there.
So Julian Sainz currently tied in the 3rd position with Charlie Rolls and Danny Baron. He is going to want to get a good score here. 6 gates, maximum score 60 points. Can he do it? Can he get himself a podium spot? It all comes down to this section.
Oh, observer nearly getting hit there. They've got to be careful. So you can see tape either side of this. So zero room for error. Got a gap from there up to front. Will he front to back it? He will.
Nice. It just makes it so much faster because you're right there on the rear wheel and you're kicking out.
Now we saw this catch Marty out. And how were you, Ian?
It looks like he's going to get some momentum in this, so bouncing into it, using all the momentum possible. Wow, he nearly made it grip.
Yeah, somehow he's known to make some of these crazy hooks work for him.
Some of these obstacles, what the riders are really relying upon is like a little knobble, a little bit of exposed rock they can grip on. But with this feature, there's nothing they can grip. It's just flat on flat. So as soon as you try and put any weight on the obstacle, it's just going to pull you down. Other than having spikes in the tyres, I don't know if there's any other way that riders could grip onto something like this.
Yeah, see, we may be seeing a few tactical dabs, putting a foot down to just get there. I wonder if that's how they'll...
And it's so crucial for Julian at this point because he's going to need to get these points to get onto a podium spot. If Danny or Charlie can get through this gate, that's going to knock him out of the podium position.
Just because of the angle of that letter, they can't go straight hook. See?
Yeah,
that's what he wants to do. You can see him naturally.
Designed.
They can't let the back wheel veer to the left in any way. Now, I wonder if this will help left-footers, because they can be at that slight angle. So
I think this is one of the most difficult competitions I've seen in the World Cup Series for some time. I know that Jack will be very pleased with this because he's always about upping the level of competition. Some competitions, what can happen is there's too many clean scores, and then it becomes a case of who is the most consistent rider. And we want to see the sport progress. We want to see levels just get better and better every year.
Danny Baron now for Spain.
Yeah, so also tied in that position. Yulin got himself a 10 points, so Danny's got to get himself to 10 points, which he'll have to do by getting up this big rock. That will secure him 10 points and be on the same points as Julian.
See, right, going Willie. I think he's going to front. He might actually land on 2 wheels.
I think he'll go to 2 just to be a bit safer.
A little bit more conservative. Let's find out.
Yeah.
jumping through, just getting through there.
Right, him and Julian are tied on points now. If he gets through this, he can provisionally book himself a spot in the 3rd position.
I wonder if we'll see anyone go to front. It looks like might be the only way. See,
it's too high.
It's
too high to get the front. I don't think you can get the
if Julian wasn't going to front, he's known to pin it crazy like that. So wow, yeah. So even a lefty we're seeing, not quite enough. He needs to get there, jump up. The crowd are getting behind him. You can hear the Spanish screaming. Oh, this is.
I wonder if there's any other way of approaching this that we have not seen, because sometimes you'll have riders who will struggle in this way, and then someone like Ollie or Charlie comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to do it differently. Right, just go for it, mate.
Keep going.
Keep going. Get
Keep
the 10
going
points.
now.
Come on.
I feel like, the British guys might have to take the down.
That was a 2A, 2B. He's got to get 3A, 3B, and that will get him the 10 points.
Nice, see?
Is that the B?
Just waiting to see. I think that's the next one.
Did he get...
Went over the tape there.
But did he get the B, the second one? I think that's the observer saying 20 there.
20 points.
Yeah, 20 points for Danny Baron. He's on 160 points, which currently puts him currently in the 2nd position.
There's his dad. Daddy Baron. Such a incredible family supporting of the sport, and you can see a different approach. Super narrow gate, just goes through on back wheel, then through to the next one, dropping down to carry on. So really well composed, just not enough to get through. I don't think we'll be having any riders saying that this was too easy.
No,
it's
only one clean so far in this competition of the men's elite 26. And judging by how difficult this section is looking, with the best score so far of 20 points, I doubt this is going to be a clean ride for anyone.
Oliver Wakeman now for the United Kingdom, and taking the same approach we saw with Danny Baron. So straight to back wheel. Oh, that's a 5. He missed the gate.
No.
I did see that.
Oh, no.
The gate is so small.
No.
Yeah, you can see. I could see that too. He didn't even realise. Gutted for Oliver. No points.
He was in 2nd position through most of the way of this competition, and that might have cost it for him. That might have cost him a podium position.
He may have just opened it up now for some of the riders to come through on top 3.
Yeah, so he's actually the same points as Julian Sainz, but Ollie did have 250. So currently, Ollie will be...
So Jack now, he's going to want to get all the way through this. Jack's always looking at it like, I'm here for 60 points. I'm here for 60 points.
Yeah, Jack's on 180 points at the moment, which is 20 points above the current race leader. Well, sorry, the person who's gone through the section, which is Danny Baron. So
marking his front, we saw him put his front wheel there as well, just to double check.
That's my direction.
Yeah.
I'm going that through those
playing
gates.
it safe. Jack often really...
has to spell it out to the observer
yes.
and say, that's what I'm doing.
Lovely work from Jack. Conservative approach, both wheels, 10 points.
That's 190 points, so he's 30 points above Danny Baron. I think that's going to be a very clear lead for him now.
Let's see.
Charlie Rolls, he's not going to be able to clear.
Let's see how he does with this one. He has made it as well.
How? What was he gripping? What went on there?
He's so good at getting his body weight on the front of that bike, Jack. He really knows how to keep the back wheel from slipping.
To get your body in the correct position.
So this is really tricky now. He's going to gap from there to the B. The letter B does it very well. So that was A, that's B, and that should be C.
Yeah, there wasn't a C on that, so it should be 3A.
So he should be 30 points. 30 points.
This is a straight 4
You can see how tight that is now. Look, just the pointy, and he's got a gap across to that wooden log in front of him.
That was used.
He's held it. Yes, Jack.
They
well
were
done.
using a kicker in the semi-finals to get up there. He might be able to clean this,
Yeah.
That was 5A. This next point is going to be 5B. Up this humongous mushroom.
It's a crazy, and like the takeoff is that rounded. Gets his front wheel there. He's got to go again. 15 seconds left to go. He could get this.
Yeah.
But the takeoff is that beam on the floor. Very, very
Can he
tricky.
get-
He's there.
Is he out?
Is he out of time? But
I
let's
think
see.
he got it. I think that's the 60
He's waiting
points.
to hear. There he is. Jack's happy. There's his dad behind him.
That has
60 points
secured
for
him the
Jack
win.
Carthy.
Yeah.
First clean section we've had. I think that's going to put him well ahead there. Once we get the final, should be on 240 points total for Jack there.
Yeah, that's the guaranteed first.
So knocked the gate there. Just knocked the gate as we saw. Almost gave it a 5. If that gate had fallen out.
Yeah.
Amazing ride. Look at this here. Body weight really far forward there. Hooking just probably missing the pedal by millimeters. Inches for you, those of you outside across the pond.
Yeah,
Really great
So
ride.
current standings is that Jack Carthy has guaranteed himself first place. He's got the gold. Danny Barron is currently sitting in the second position with 160. Charlie Rolls is on 140. So he needs 30 points here to get into the second position. He can't win it. Currently, Julian Sainz is tied with Oliver Waitman on the 50, I believe. Well, sorry, Oliver Waitman's on the third position, sorry.
Charlie taking the same route. Doesn't want to make the same mistake Oliver did. Front to back.
There we go.
Oh, just staying in the tape. Nearly fell out then.
Right, that puts him in fourth position because Oliver Waitman has more more 50s at this point than Charlie. They're both on 150. If he can do this, that will put him into second position.
He knows he's got to get his body weight so far forward. You need that pedal to be so close. How is he going to attack this? Yeah, see, you almost know as soon as they land.
He needs this because he can't top Oliver's score. Oliver's going to be in third position right now. They're tied on points, but Oliver has more 50s.
Gets in that. There's no room to stop.
It comes down to this. This one move is stopping him from getting on the podium. This is tight. Come on, Charlie.
They're really getting behind him now because I know Charlie can do this. He's called it.
That's it.
He's still smiling.
Yeah.
He knows that he could have done better.
But that gives us our lineup. So that's Jack Carthy in first place with 240 points. A huge 80-point lead over Danny Barron coming in second place with 160 points. Oliver Waitman in third place. He got the same overall points as Charlie, but the extra 50 is what gives him the third position. Charlie Rolls, unfortunately, coming in fourth, all down to that final gate. Julian Sainz also on 150 points, but that puts him in the fifth position. And Marty Voreda.
And a great ride from Marty, riding with an injury in the finals. I mean, that's a fantastic effort. And you can see there, Jack in his rainbow jersey, proving why he wears that rainbow jersey. The only rider to get a 60 in the entire finals. There's Mummy Rolls there as well. Big support behind Charlie. And then there's Jack just chatting to his dad. Mick Carthy there. Big support for Jack. And I think we'll have a few words with Jack. So a couple of the highlights now. The 26-inch men's elite finals. What a brilliant ride. It.
That's some of the highlights there. We're going to go to Jack Carthy, who's going to give us a few words about what it was like to win here today.
Yeah, I think they'll probably just be gathering him like, quick, Jack, you can't go anywhere. We need to interview you. So we'll head back down to our presenter on the ground shortly. Look at that view. Just look at the spectators. Completely filled the space.
This is a really interesting. This has been such an interesting competition because every section was different. There was such a kind of wave of emotions there. Of Charlie sort of not doing too well in the beginning sections, pulling it back on that section with the climbing hold. He got 40 points on that section, where everyone else, including Jack, only got 20 points on it. But in all, of course, it did come around to Jack, who was the most consistent rider, and two clean runs from the Yorkshireman.
And very shortly after this, we'll be moving on to, in about 15 minutes, moving on to the 20-inch elite finals. And judging from the semi results, incredibly close. And we have a Swiss rider who will be in the finals of 20, who'll be kicking us off shortly. So great to see a home rider in the finals there in the mix.
Yeah, a very good spread of nationalities who are in the finals of the 20-inch. We've got French, we've got the Spanish, we've got the Austrian, and Swiss, as you say there, Matt, as well.
Well, we have a 20-inch rider, as Jeff says, clean any sections. We've only had one rider in 26 do a clean.
And we're going to go to Jack Carthy.
Congratulations, Jack. What a comeback. Again, on the top of the World Cup podium. Today in Valbirse, what is for you the most tricky section or most tricky obstacle, the sector today?
Yeah, for me, the boulder section with the climbing boulder thing is the trickiest section, because for me it's like a gimmicky section. You can be the best rider, fall off, or you can be the worst rider and make it. So I don't like this style of section. So for me, this one is the easiest to make a mistake on and not even understand why you made the mistake. So yeah, for me it was that one.
You are back on the top of the World Cup podium. Last year was not the best season for you at the World Cup. You start with injury of your ribbon. Also, the last round was not the best. We are out of the podium, but seems that this season you are start strong.
Yeah. Like last year was probably my hardest one of my whole career. Broken ribs. Then in the end, I don't even know what happened there, to be honest. But yeah. I did the work this season and stayed and kept riding. So yeah, I've been very active and trained a lot. So yeah.
13 years ago, you get the first World Cup podium just behind Jack Carty, Gilles Coustillier and Kenny Belay, and you're still here fighting with the new generation. After these years, you have 7 world titles, a lot of World Cup podiums, and still that Jack Carty is still fighting for a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. My career has been crazy, to be honest, because I started my career at the top, and I had to maintain it to stay in the mix, So there's been a lot of pressure on my whole career, and I'm trying now to just enjoy it. I'm trying to see it more now, like the others have the pressure to try to beat me. I'm trying to have more fun with it, So, and I find this is like a new way to be more motivated in myself instead of competition. If we have a good day, great. If we have a bad day, no problem now. And I'm trying to not care as much and just enjoy the process.
Okay, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Great words there from Jack. Yeah, he loves the big moves, the big sections, and we've seen it before with technical, as he called it, gimmicky sections. Abu Dhabi and stuff like that, the sand, and he just likes raw, big trials.
It definitely puts all the riders on par for that. As he said, that kind of moves there was about not making the mistakes. And that was the section that was easiest to make mistakes, which made it probably the hardest section of the finals. But a big shout out to the course builders here. They've done a fantastic job. It just seems to level up every year, not just every round. You can see here Jack's final moments, getting through that final gate, dropping down.
And yeah, some great words from the interviewer there, Danny Paramon, who just saying about how Jack's illustrious career, he's came up during the time of Aurelian and Kenny Belay, and he's managed to stay on top all these years. When you see in the other categories, such as 20-inch or in the women's, it's very up and down as to who's on top. So
and there we have your podium We've got first place Jack Carthy, second place Danny Baron, and Oliver Waitman there in third.
So we're just going to be finish up on this stream now because the 20-inch will be going live. So thank you for tuning in. There'll be a separate link on the UCI and on Shindig Media where you can tune into the live 20-inch finals. That's going live now at 3 o'clock UK time. So we shall see you there.